Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning, and today we've got another combo that we haven't tested yet, but it's a shell that has struggled a little bit so far in our testing. However, this choke combo has done well with a number of other shells previously, so who knows, maybe this is the combination to really help them out. I kind of have my doubts coming into it here, but you never know, and I've got one more of these shells left, so we might as well test it and see what we get. But as for the shells I brought today, I got out some more of the Hevi-Shot Hevi-Metal Turkey loads. These ones are the 12 gauge, 3.5 inch, 1.5 ounce payload of 4-shot, moving about 1450 feet per second. Now it does say here on the top of this box that they are a high density bismuth load. From my understanding, it's kind of a bismuth slash steel combination. I don't know if it's a blend or actually melting the metals together to get that or whatever the case is, but it is not lead, it's not TSS, and it's not the heavy 13 traditional heavy shot type of stuff either, which is why they have to use the 4-shot, be able to keep that energy down there. Now, heavy shot shells in general have struggled from time to time in our testing, and these are no different. These have been a little bit on the disappointing side, but I guess we'll see what they do through today's choke. So for today's setup, I brought out my Mossberg 835 Ulti-Mag. It's got a 28-inch barrel on it, but for that choke, I threw in an old school, original, like first edition style of the Truglo Gobble-Stopper. It's not the Gobble-Stopper Extreme or anything like that, just the Gobble-Stopper. These are supposed to measure out at 679 as per the box. However, this one measures out at a 695, so not really anywhere close to that box claim, but still very much a turkey constriction for this 835. So it's a very basic choke, nothing fancy. Maybe it'll work with these, maybe it won't. We'll see what happens. But as for today's test, everything is the same as usual. The turkey target's at 40 yards, and I've got the chronograph so we can get our velocity. So let's get you guys to view that target and see if this is the magical combination to get these heavy metal turkey loads to actually pattern somewhat decently. I've got my doubts, but let's take our shot and see what we get. Alright, so that shell gave us 1402 through the chrono. Boss claim is 1450, so we didn't quite see that. However, 1400 is still moving on out for a turkey-oriented shell like that. So we got plenty of velocity up here, but how did they actually pattern down there at 40? Let's go check it out and see. Alright, well, now we're down here at our 40-yard paper, and I gotta say, it is not impressive. I do apologize for the little bit of a wrinkly piece of paper here, but we've had a few little showers this morning and some of the paper got wet, but we can still see what we need to see here, which really isn't a lot. Would we have had a dead turkey here? I don't know. That's pretty borderline. You definitely didn't have much up through the head and neck area, but maybe a couple of those body shots down there might have knocked him down enough for you to get a second shot off on him or something, but definitely not super impressive there. Now, yes, I do believe we favored a touch high and a touch left over here for one reason or another. Those are pretty high velocity shells, so it doesn't completely surprise me, but it really wouldn't have made a massive difference, to be honest with you. It is much closer to a waterfowl pattern than anything else. If it was centered up a little bit better, yes, it technically would be good enough to get you a turkey out to 40 yards with it. Is it a combo or a shell that I would want to use to do it? Definitely not. And that kind of does lead on to my suspicion here that these are probably just one of Hevi-Shot's more waterfowl oriented shells that they stuck in a turkey box and market it towards the turkey hunter, and that is definitely not ideal, that's for sure. Would that be perfectly fine for a duck hunt or something like that? Yeah, that pattern would work just fine for that scenario. For a turkey hunt though, that is not at all what we're really looking to see here. I'll bring you guys in here and look around this top left corner of this turkey paper, which is where I think our core should be, and well, we really don't have much of one. We might have a couple little bit of a hotter areas of shot right there, but still we got a big void right there in the middle of your screen, so not much for a core. We covered most of the rest of the paper here all the way around. The only spot we didn't really hit is the very bottom edge of the paper down there, but still that is not at all a turkey pattern or what I would consider a good or usable turkey pattern, but that's not too surprising for these shells either. We have seen better from them through some other chokes, but still nothing great at the same time. time either. So although I definitely didn't have high hopes for this combo coming into it, it still does not impress me, even in the slightest. So if you're at the store looking for turkey shells, then I would not suggest buying any of these. They're not worth your time and money. We've tested them through tighter chokes, more open chokes, ported, not ported, doesn't make a difference. We have yet to see anything that I would call an actual impressive or solid looking turkey pattern. So maybe a little bit of a disappointment here today, but I don't think it's very much surprising for any of us, to be honest with you. But that's why we test a variety of stuff, because sometimes you're just going to find junk shells, and these are kind of one of them. They're definitely not worth your time, that's for sure. But that's about what I expected to see, so they definitely didn't do anything surprising here today. And here's the wad from that shell. Nothing fancy or special to see about it. There's nothing stuck down in there. There's no major damage or anything to it. Very basic design. I just don't think these are very good loaded shells overall. They're just not super well designed for the turkey application, but the wad seems to be perfectly fine today. Nothing out of the ordinary here. All right, y'all. Well, what did you think about that performance right there? I think we've pretty well already covered it. It's not a great turkey pattern, but it's not surprising either. These shells have been very borderline in all of our testing with them. We have seen a better pattern or two than that from them, but not by much. Like I said a second ago, we've tried them through tighter chokes, open chokes, ported, not ported. Doesn't seem to really make a difference. This is about what you're going to expect to see out of them. And although, sure, it would be good enough to get you a turkey with them out to 40 yards, technically speaking, I wouldn't want to use them. And even if it was the only shells I could find, I kind of would rather prefer a typical like number 5 lead field load and just keep my shots at 30 yards rather than have that. You're going to have a little more energy to work with going that route and stuff like that. So these shells just simply aren't good. They're not worth your time and money, and I wouldn't bother messing with them. But leave all your thoughts down below. Is that about what you expected to see? Were you a little surprised one way or the other? Have you tested any of these heavy metal turkey loads? And if so, what kind of results have you seen from them? Is that a pattern, a combination, a shell that you would ever hunt with? Or is it just not at all impressive to you as well? And what other shells might you want to see us run through that old Truglo Gobble-Stopper choke? I don't have any more of these left, finally. They're out of the way of my cabinet, but let me know what you guys might want to see as far as that choke goes. So leave all your thoughts down below. But with that being said, I've got some more testing to get done for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, you have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All that information will be in the description down below if you're interested in it, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.